Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good lunchtime, dinner time. My goodness, it could be dinner time for some people. It's technically my lunchtime. I'm on in California, Pacific Daylight Time. So it's 12:30, even though we do all our schedule based on Eastern time. So, and I know I have a lot of people in Central and Eastern time that pop on. So I'll get right into my talk. My name is Lucinda, for any of you who do not know, aka Vintastic Finds. I have had a love of thrifting and all things vintage since I was a very young teenager. My husband owned a vintage toy store that specialized in lunch boxes in the Bay Area in the early 1980s. And man, that was a lot of fun. We would go to the Goodwill bins at like 4 and 5 in the morning and get bags full of stuff. It was by the pound, just like it is now, but a giant bag was like $1. And it was amazing the things that you could find back then if you were willing to get up that early, because they were open for like 3 hours and that was it. It was incredible. They were at the tip of the whole lunchbox collectible phase, and it was a lot of fun. So I've been into thrifting and collecting vintage for 40 something years. I started with vintage jewelry on eBay in 2001, and then I took off a lot of time to get a degree and spent 10 years doing that. And then some unfortunate stuff happened. I was rear-ended while at a stoplight by a van going full speed, over the speed limit actually. And my career and that master's degree didn't work out. So I took a lot of time off to heal. And as COVID hit, I found the vintage YouTube community. And it was the best thing ever. And after watching and participating and being a buyer and being active in chats, being a moderator, I decided to go beyond eBay, which I still do, and go live. So here I am. I use Pirate Ship to get you the best rate possible when shipping. And I posted in the chat both my email, because I still can't figure out how to do a banner, y'all. I still can't figure out how to put a banner that would run across right here with my email. I'll get there. I don't know why it's so hard. So I typed it in the very first line of the chat, and I typed in what I need from you. If you purchase an item today, which you don't have to purchase an item, you can come here, hang out, chat, learn, laugh, discuss the weather, ask questions of me and of each other. It's not a requirement to purchase. But if you do purchase an item and I do not have your information because you're a new buyer, I need your YouTube name, your real name, your shipping address, and your PayPal link. If you are not associated with PayPal, you can check out as a guest, one time only. That's perfectly fine. And I need that information within 24 hours, or I'm going to assume you don't want it, and it's going to go on to the next sale. My time and your time is valuable. I generally invoice in about 4 or 5 days, and I generally ship out Tuesday, the day before my Wednesday sales. Today I am going to do something a little different. I curate what's popular, I curate what's trending, and I curate and pick and peddle what I like. And I've been doing this now. I think this is my 7th or 8th live. A little confused. I think it's my 8th. And my sales have been pretty low. Now I'm building my channel, so that's reasonable. But my prices have been medium to a little low. Definitely not full retail on the majority of items out there. And that's important to me. But I am in California, and I'm not big enough to source in bulk. So I can't get those wonderful, incredible glass or bulk that I can sell everything for $1 or $2. That's just not me. That's not my channel. But I still think I do a good job. However, I can't. So I've been juggling with this dilemma. I can't hold inventory, boxes and boxes of it, and keep going out and sourcing more and more stuff to put in more and more boxes when I don't have the space, I don't have the funds, and it's not moving. So what I'm going to do for this sale is I've reduced everything to the lowest prices that I can. I have multiple sheets, and I have things from all my last 7 or 8 sales that haven't moved that I'm not bringing to the peddler's train, which is coming on October 29th. I am the caboose of that train, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. So that's October 29th. It's hosted by Vintage Uprising. I will be the caboose holding all the businesses together. And I hope you come over and check that out. I have held some really great items back to peddle on October 29th. So, who's here? Does anyone want to say hi before I get into it? Anyone want to tell me if they're having a great day, a bad day, if the weather's spectacular, if it's crappy? How's your dog doing or your cat? Hey, Angela, hi. I'm so glad you came back. Welcome. I'm glad to see you here. Hey, Patty. Yep, working and lurking. I do it all the time, so feel free. Work and lurk. How's everyone's weather? The weather here is different every day in California. We're doing that weird fall thing where it's either really hot or it gets really cold the next day, or it's kind of rainy, or it's super foggy, or it gets hot. It's, it's trying to figure itself out. Takes a little while. Same as my life. Takes me a while. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to bring, the majority of my items today, y'all, are $15 or under. There's a couple that are a little more because that's the best I can do. And we'll see what happens. So I'm going to get into it. Dusty. Hey, Dusty. I'm so glad you popped in, girl. How's it going? I just saw you over on MT's channel. Wow. He had some spectacular glass, as he always does. As he always does. I was super impressed, and I was only there for the last half an hour, and I was just like, he's killing it. Okay, so my first item, and I always have to turn around and do this, right? Sorry. And of course I have all this stuff piled on it. My first item I brought at my last Wednesday sale, and I also brought it to my collaboration with Angie's Oddities, who invited me and Denise's Magical Emporium on. So my first item starts at $20, and it is this pink 1930s depression glass, the Shaggy Daisy pattern. And I gotta say, I really have always loved pink depression glass. I was really bummed out when it went out of style, because how does vintage go out of style? I mean, there's always niche collectors, but You know, there is a driving brand force, just like with all products. But this particular pattern of the Shaggy Daisy, to me, is just gorgeous. It's this super light pink. There's the color. See the real color? With these incredible feet. These feet. There's 3 feet. And they're just these squatty kind of oval triangle. It's about 1.5 inches tall. And there's nothing wrong with this whatsoever. There's a lot of straw. Let me see if I can move this ring light. It's making a big glare. There's a lot of straw marks on this piece because it's such early glass. So there's a lot of straw marks, but there's no chips or cracks. It's 10 inches around. Hey, Karen Williams. Thank you. Babysitting. So you're loving on your grandkid. Good for you. Good for you. So see right there in that main daisy is a slight straw mark. And that just means that when they made this early glass and the molds, it wasn't as sophisticated as, say, Murano hand-blown glass. So this is 10 inches around. It's absolutely gorgeous. And to be quite honest, with this Shaggy Daisy pattern, and nothing wrong with it, there's this one very slight little edge. It's right here, but it's more of a rough spot. It's almost like a straw mark from the manufacturers. It's not a chip. It's not a line. It doesn't go through. And you can see all the straw marks, maybe. Maybe not. All around the edge of here has lines on this little round edge. So this is 20. And if it doesn't sell, I might keep it. The holidays are coming up. It would be absolutely lovely to put my Thanksgiving pecan pie on. So, or my Christmas cheesecake. So, hey, Apple, there you are. Still working. You work hard, girl. So, 20 bucks. Now I'm going to move on. And I'm not going to put the start price in the chat. I'm going to tell you what it is. And if you rewatch this later and you see an item you like, you can listen for the price and you can let me know. I don't have a mod. I don't have a big enough channel. And it's hard for me to type with my left hand, start and then pass. So just bear with me. I want to get through quite a few little items, and I'm trying to use my time wisely. I don't know if I'll succeed, but I'm gonna try, man. Okay, so we're passing on the plate, and I will type that in the chat. Now, what is with this? Hold on. Let me see if I do this. My chat is frozen, which makes me wonder if I'm frozen. Hold on. Am I frozen? I cannot. No. Okay. Well, I want to know why I can't post this information. That is so weird. I can't use my own chat. I've never been in this particular situation. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Wow. I've never been locked out of my own chat. I'm so sorry, y'all. What is that about? Sorry, I'm going to try one more time. Huh. Okay. I'm completely flabbergasted. I see that you all are moving, but my chat will not move for me. So I'm going to say it again because I don't know. I don't want to learn more. Okay. So I use Pirate Ship. I'm in California. My email is mscwalker, like walking, but ER, @att.net. I am not able to use my chat. So in the interest of time, I'm just going to move forward and you'll have to listen for what the prices is. I'll repeat my email as often as possible. So today I have bundled for $25 total. Thank you, Patty. I literally have a whole thing typed here and it won't let me do anything. Maybe if I get rid of the whole thing. Let me put it in. No. Oh boy. What if I just say test? That was the weirdest thing ever. Boom. Okay, whatever. Okay, so this is a 25. This is a combination. This is a vintage filigreed faux pearl beads with this fantastic quadruple chain links. I love this chain. I love these baubles. I do actually suspect, and I don't think it really matters in the big scheme of things, because I sold vintage jewelry for a long time, as I've said. I don't think it really matters in the big scheme of things, but there is the one small filigreed ball missing right there. It is your standard. It's not a barrel clasp. It's I call it a clutch clasp, but and that's not the correct name, but that's what I call it. It fits my wrist. I have small wrists. It fits my wrist just fine. I'll put it on and show you. And it is paired with, I'll show you that in just a second. It actually has a little bit of looseness on my wrist. So it would fit, if you have medium, it would fit medium as well. Let's move my jewelry out of the way. I think it's gorgeous. It makes that wonderful sound. You see how much space is there? So it would fit almost to medium. And it fold over clasp is good. And it is paired for $25 with this listener brooch. I'm calling this a New Year's Eve brooch. Listener is a high-end costume jewelry, very sought after. It is about 3 inches long. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this brooch. I was astounded. I had a feeling it was listener. And then when I turned it over after I left the store, sure enough, it's kind of like a scattered leaves, flowing leaves, or you could call it a shaggy flower with this stem. It has a center. It is supposed to be a little lighter on the ends. It's silver tone. Here's the back. This is probably 1970s. There's the listener stamp. It's quite beautiful if you're going to do the bring back the brooch. It's perfect for the winter. It's large. let's give you an idea. This is my favorite, one of my favorite brooches I wear, but it lost a rhinestone. I don't care. It's almost as large as that. So the two together in a bundle are $25. If you want separate, this right here is $16 and this is $10. So you're going up a little bit. So this would be $16 and this would be $10. Okay. And now I'm going to take this bracelet off and move on. And this is really good quality. There is no maker on it, but this is very high quality. It's not Japan. If I was going to go with a maker, I would go with something like Weiss. The problem with jewelry is that often it was sold in a set and only the earrings or only the necklace was marked in the whole set. So often you have to do a bit of detecting work. The other thing I thought could be really cool with this bracelet, you could actually take these beads off and repurpose them and then take this fabulous quadruple chain and put on your own vintage dangles, silver dangles, or modern as you travel and collect them. Because this type of chain is not made in costume jewelry anymore. Okay. So we're going to pass on that. And the bundle was $25. And I put $4.25. See, that's what I get. That's why I can't. Boom. Okay, so moving on. This little guy, my little Doxy friend, Fine Bone China, made in Japan. He's a sweetie. Hashtag no chips, no cracks. He's $13. He's about 4 inches long. 1950s. Really cute. You know anybody who collects Doxies or Wiener dog? I think he may be a Wiener dog. And not a Dachshund because he doesn't have the longer ears. But I know my dog breeds, but not, spectacularly well. And that is upside down Japan. With his little tail back here. It's got really nice painting. And he's just lovely. You've got a dog lover or this type of breed. Christmas is coming up. You know someone who collects miniatures or figurines. And he would pair well with any type of glass that you put him with. I mix and match all my ceramics and glasses and figurines. They're all in a big, crazy swirl, and I enjoy it. So he was 13. See it for 13 because when I type with my left hand, it just doesn't work. Okay, so we're going to move on from him. And I'm not going to do a recap unless a lot of people come in later and ask me to. So if you want it, buy it now. Buy it now. So the next item that I'm bringing is I bundled this. And we'll see what y'all think. I bundled for $28. Buy it now. This Christmas green with some teal colors. Now I want a piece of paper to show it to you better. It is, your standard 5 inches tall. There you go. Crackle glass. I do not know the maker. I don't know. I think it might be Kanawa. Could be rainbow glass. No chips, no cracks. Applied handle. Here's the pontil. And the reason why I say Kanawa or rainbow is because it has that little bit of the rough pontil from the blown glass. And that's a telltale of the maker. Bye, Patty. Thanks for stopping in. Have a good meeting. You can see the, again, you see the kind of straw marks, even though it's crackled and blown. It's got those little straw marks as the glass is sitting and drying. I think straw marks, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think straw marks might actually have been, they put the glass down to cool, surrounded by straw. Is that crazy? Someone correct me. And I bundled it for $28 with this advertising card. This advertising card, and it go beautifully together. Obviously, you could have the two things separately. I'll show them to you together. The colors are great together for, is that in the frame right? For Christmas. This advertising card, I'm quite sure it's from the 1920s, 1930s, maybe earlier, with these barn swallows on them. The colors are very vivid. There's a church town steeple. It's either a church or the town center in the background. It's probably the first freeze of the season because the birds are migrating through and there's a rose still growing. It's really splendid, really beautiful. And these, anyone who's watched before in the last couple of shows knows, were put in bags of bulk beans from Lyons Coffee from Wilson Spice Company in Toledo, Ohio. It's beautiful for framing. You could make new digital images and use this for your Christmas card front. I think that would be splendid. They go together really well. If you want to buy them separately, the postcard is $10 and the picture is $18. I will consider offers today that are $1 or $2 less than I am asking, but that's about all that I can do because I am, like I said, in California. I do source. I take a lot of time looking for the nice honey holes, the cheaper little places, looking for the bargains, and I do really well. But everything that we do, we physically drive to the store. We use gas. We spend time in the stores walking around. We research the items. We clean the items. We present the items to you. We gather together which items we think are what in a sale. Then we invoice. Then we have to get the labels. Then we have to print it. So we need printers. Then we pack. Then we drive to the post office. So consider that when you're purchasing from a small online vintage reseller. There's a whole lot that goes into what we're doing. And so our prices, they're good prices, y'all. But you know, we're trying to have a good time, enjoy our vintage, share our love, and make a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. So there was the bundle, or you could consider them separately. The next two items I have is Choice New Old Stock of two 1970s Hallmark photograph albums. And I found them in their boxes, their original boxes. They're about 14 by 8. This is the first one with the beautiful floral print. It is not raised. There is no damage to these whatsoever because they are new old stock. There is the Hallmark album. It is a box with a lid. This is the second one. There's the lady, and there is the saying, which says, how wonderful that memory can capture every scene of very special times gone by and keep them evergreen. So this is a Victorian lady out gathering roses, in her garden. There's the Hallmark album. And for any of you who have not seen these, these are meant to be refillable. And you see this 2 screws? The screws come undone, and you can add more of these 3x5 inserts. There is 8 in each one, so that's 24 pictures. And you can find these at thrift stores, these refills, all the time. So you could keep your ephemera in these. We just saw Michael Todd, some of us, with that incredible photo album that he just sold. So I'm going to show you the example of this postcard fitting right in there. It's 3x5. So you could start your whole new postcard collection, and you can find these pages, I guarantee it, at thrift stores. They're there all the time. So again, $15 choice. The yellow with the little Victorian lady. New in box. This one even has its tissue paper. And she, is it her? No, it's the other one. And this one, 14x8. This one, it's black. Well, no, it's a dark, dark blue with gold screws and the flowers. I think this one's gorgeous. It actually has the original instructions and the page size and the ordering numbers for the refills. And it's the same idea. And the back is just the back. Dark blue with beautiful orange and yellow roses and daisies. Okay. Going to say pass on that one. Hello to anyone that I might have missed who popped in. Anyone who's lurking, thank you so much. I appreciate that you're lurking. I appreciate that you're here. So we're going to move to my next page. So this is something for crafters. And I always say I'm not a crafter, but actually I craft a lot. It's just little tiny things. I'm not, I can't like whip out a whole line of clothes on a sewing machine, or, I'm not an artist who can look outside and like draw the tree just perfectly, or I can't make beautiful little pumpkins or mushrooms out of clay. No, I'm much more simple, but I can go to the dollar store or Joann's or Michael's and get wreaths and insert beautiful items on the wreaths for Christmas, Halloween. I can create assemblages for gifts for people in old vintage tins with all the things. So I can craft. I'm just not, I'm very amateur, very amateur. So this starts at 10, and it is an entire box of vintage Christmas decorative fruits. It says there's 12 bunches of fruit. This was originally sold at Kmart, and I'm going to have to set it down. I took pieces out. It has so many pieces. I believe these are little yellow apples. And these are all twisted together, but you can untwist them and use them individually. It has the sugared strawberries. It has the sugared limes. It has little green, like Granny Smith type apples. It has, these are separate. Why? I do not know. Little baby pine cones. There's quite a few of these. It has separate, much bigger little apples with just a little stem. So these are things you would put on in your assemblage. It's got a sugared top. You would put them in your assemblage, on your wreaths, little pears. I'm a little hungry. Little teeny tiny berries. Not sure what they are. Little teeny tiny bunch of bananas. I'm not exactly sure what bananas have to do with Christmas, but you'll have to ask Kmart what they were thinking. I wouldn't have gone there. Another little sugared fruit. There's just a whole bunch of stuff in here. And I opened the box and started showing things, and now I cannot close the box again. This is something with a sugared top. There is, okay, hold on. There is sugared oranges and lemons in here, and there you go. So that's a lot of crafting. $10. It was $10 new at Kmart, probably in the 70s. So $10. Lots and lots of crafting, because you can either keep it like this, or you can literally separate this and wrap it around your wreaths, put them in flower frogs, put individual ones in vintage tins, stick it through the little spice hole tops, put a little Santa Claus or a gnome or a miniature wreath, create a tree with the fruit at the bottom. I mean, you figure it out. For $10, it's a no-brainer. Here's the top. Kmart. 1979, I believe it says there. Okay. We're going to pass on that. Hey, listen, something that I would really appreciate is if everyone can give me a thumbs up. And, if you enjoy the content that I bring, and you think other people might like it, please ask them to come over at my next sale, or ask them to rewatch. I would appreciate that. I have a lot of support in this community, and this community is one of the best, kindest communities that I've ever met. And I appreciate all of it. But I still need a few more viewers. It's tough to be new and find a good time slot. I picked the earlier time slot on Wednesdays because I didn't want to go up against Jason at Mother Tucker's Antiques and Amy, right, with their fantastic finds. No way I wouldn't have any viewers if I did that. But I didn't know that the Cult of Vintage was right before me. So, but when is a good time slot? I don't know. The weekends are, packed and busy. So, doing the best I can. Okay. The next item is, and these are all buy it now unless 2 people want in. And if 2 people want in, then we'll do a quick countdown, and whoever comes out at the top will be the winner. So this is buy it now at $14. And it is this beautiful It is, I always want to say it wrong. Anne Rice. Anne Rice. But the bottom, Anne Rice, hand painted. There's another word. For the life of me, y'all. Rice. It also is an A-N up there. Anne, but not like the name. Rice. Hand painted. It's orange. It's a miniature, like kind of squatty beehive or bubble a little bit. Not quite beehive, but it's got that similarity with hand painted with the gold paint. It's raised. It's almost like enameled on it. It is about 2.5 inches tall. It has orange swirled paint. Hashtag no chips, no cracks. There you go. Beautiful reds and oranges. Perfect fall colors. $14. Buy it now. It weighs nothing. It's very thin. It's bone china. I believe it's dirty in there. And I don't have my miniature bottle brush cleaners down here, so I left it alone. I believe this was actually used for single little flowers, like a single little poppy, tiny daisy, or a tea rose. I think it's beautiful. 14. Okay. This it is from the 2000s. Is it 20 years old? You know, I'm not sure. There were 3 of them, short, medium, and tall. I liked them. Like I said, I buy for me and for what's popular, but for me, because that's the joy of shopping. But I wasn't sure that, my friends would appreciate it as much as I do. So I only bought one. It's possible the other 2 are still there, but that was last week. You never know. So I have one. I think it's wonderful. It starts at, did I put that in? Hold on, is that the right price for this? Why am I so confused? Yes, 15. Okay, that is the right price. It is a melted glass, like slumped, melted ice looking glass. Triangular taper candle holder. It is quite heavy. It is absolutely stunning in person. I'm going to turn my ring light off and see if that helps. Yeah, I think that gives this more depth because the light is shining through and it's just not giving the depth. There you go. It's just layered and slumped and dripping. And when the light shines through, it plays on all that. And with a tapered, there's my finger. So with a tapered candle in there at night, it would just be gorgeous. This is the bottom. The bottom is frosted. Why? I don't know. It's just, and it's smooth. It's very heavy. It's probably a good 1.5 to 2 pounds. This one is, here's my head, about 10 inches. tall. And it is at about 3 to 4 inches across. There's the top. And it is $15. I'm quite sure it costs a lot more than that new. I cannot claim that this is crystal, but it's got the weight of crystals. It's also got bubbles inside. Do you see the bubbles? So it's really, I don't know if it's Chinese, I don't know, and I don't care. It's really quite gorgeous. The majority of products made in China, I could throw them out and never look back. Just doesn't have that sexiness, but this does. This does. There's a few things I make an exception for. So if you're watching this later, or if you think about it later and you're interested, you can email me at mscwalker@att.net, and it could be yours. Okay, I'm going to take a sip. And as you're watching this, because I don't do a recap, because I just don't sell enough to, it would be like doing the same show twice, which is just ludicrous, for everyone to sit through that. You can do a quick go backwards and see what I've already brought if you're just popping in. And if you're interested, please put it in the chat and we'll get back to it. Okay? Thank you so much. Okay. My next item is this. And it starts at 14. What a weird thing I just did. Hold on. You should never mod your own channel. It starts at 14. And I think it's really fun. I wish I would have found it earlier for Halloween. It is an old either baby bottle or farm bottle for the animals. It's got your ounces up to 8 ounces at the top, right there, 8 ounces. The lip is made in such a way that, you just stick the rubber nipple right over it, right? And then either your baby or the animal is drinking from it. It is molded. So I would say 60s. It could be earlier, but I'm just going to go with 60s. It's not modern. It has no chips, no cracks. It is about 8 fluid ounces, about 8.5 inches tall, and 2 inches at its widest, maybe 2.5. It's $14. I think that you could do all kinds of things with this. I would print up some kind of vintage label. Since Christmas is coming up, I would now do Christmas, and I would put, you could actually make your elderberry potion for when you get sick. You could make a honey ginger potion for when you get sick. And you could put a really cool, just design a little vintage label, glue it on here, which is the back. And then you could buy a very small cork and put it in and keep it in your kitchen. You could, of course, also put in, you could put a label on the back, and you could put in, what am I thinking of? Scented bath bubbles or bath salts. You could pour that in and you would know how many ounces you're pouring in. You could get creative. I think it's cool. It's a piece of our history. They don't use glass for babies nor animals anymore. It's all plastic. Glass is gone. Okay. Dum, bum, bum. All right. So I have for choice $12 choice. These I have not shown before. 2 Easter cards. I'll show you them one at a time. This one, this lovely angel Easter lady. And look, I know we're only heading into Christmas, but if you're an ephemera collector, it doesn't matter. Okay. I'm an ephemera collector. I've got albums full, just like going back to MT, the Cult of Vintage. I've got albums full. So it really doesn't matter. This lady was mailed in 1909 in Pasadena, California. To Pasadena, California, or from. It looks like it's in Greek or Russian on the back. It says, "Hello, how are you? Bye-byes." I have no idea. To Miss Olive White, Grand Avenue, and then it just says city. So is there a place called City? It just says city. Is there a place in the United States that the name of it is City? I wish someone would look that up in the chat and let me know, because this says Pasadena, California, but the bottom it just says City. So there's something. Oh, this card was made in Germany, but that is not German writing on the top. It really reminds me of like Greek Orthodox. And it is embossed a little bit, right? And slightly raised. The angel's legs, her dress, the cross, and the leaves are all slightly raised. You can see that on the back. See? 1909 is the stamp date. So that's the first choice for $12. Is anyone here? I see that I got 3 people. Just doing a check. And the second is this. Happy may your Easter be, with the peace stuff. So it does say happy may your Easter be. But to me, this also just reminds me of Christmas. Isn't Christmas all about peace? Isn't the wintertime all about the lonely little birds against the blue sky that just cleared after the rains? Olive branch, peace. We need that more than ever right now. And the back is blank, so it's just cardstock. It could become a postcard back in the day if someone wanted, but it's just a cardstock. I think it's beautiful. It's not embossed. It's not raised. $12 each. Your choice. If you want them both, $20. One-time deal. If you want them both, $20. Okay. This little guy is very interesting. This is the best price I can do on him. He's a funny little guy. I believe the correct spelling for him, he was mass produced for a small amount of time in the 70s to the 80s, believe it or not. He is not Chinese. He's Japanese. I believe it's Townnel. I believe you can find him on eBay. He is this really funny little alien-eyed owl. It's like almost like googly eyes, and his eyes are different sizes, and he stands a little crooked, and he's filled with the bubbles. They are not even. I do not think they're supposed to be. He reminds me of Crystal, but I cannot say for sure that he is. He's got his little ears. He's in a nose. He's just the funniest little dude. He's got a smooth bottom. I don't think he was meant to be a paperweight. He's just a funny little owl. And, you know, he would go up against any kind of colors, right? So you could put him with your milk glass. You could put him in front of your milk glass. The milk glass would show through. You can put him with your colored glass. These go pretty well together. And he's about 4.5 inches tall. Sorry, moving that back there. 4.5 inches tall. He's just a little goofball. He's just a little goofball. The only city in the USA is in Texas. Yeah. Thank you, Kathy, for looking that up. And hi, Kathy. I just am like, city. Sure, mail it to the city. Like I live in the country, right? So I would write on the postcard, mail it to the city. So this little guy is 20. There's a few of him online, but I believe he's pretty rare. I don't think he was manufactured by some small artist, TOWNEL or TOWNLE, for more than about a year. And he's in perfect condition with his little wings down here. I'm assuming he's an owl, but, you know, I'm assuming. We know what happens when you do that. So I'm going to put this little guy aside, and he's, you know, like a half a pound, 2/3 of a pound, but I think he's cute. I really do. So I'm going to put him aside. This is a $4. Buy it now. It's a Bakelite Mahjong tile. Mahjong. That sounds really weird the way I'm saying it. Mahjong. Must just be one of those days where words sound funny sometimes. You know how you said things 100 times, 1,000,000 times, but then one time you say it and it's like, what? That sounds very strange. So it's just a pheasant, or actually not, maybe bird of paradise. I know what this bird is, but it's escaping me. And obviously it's a number 1 in this series in a Mahjong tile, Bakelite. I thought it would be really nice for crafting. It's got its Bakelite. It's got that wonderful feel. One of my first loves is plastic, vintage plastic. it is about 1.25 inches tall and 1.5 inches. No, 1.25 inches tall. No, 1.5 inches tall and 1.25 inches wide. Okay, there you go. I got that out. It's got the nice, I'm sure it used to be more orange, but it was used so much and so often that it's a little yellowed. But when you back it up, hi Bonnie, how's it going? When you back it up, you can see it's on the purple. It is more orange. It's not as yellow as the ring light is blowing it out to be. It's a little more orange. And it's just itsy bitsy. A lot of people take these and put magnets on the back and make it into a magnet for your refrigerator. See, me, not crafty, being crafty. Hey, Bonnie, it is your first time here. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it a lot. Bonnie, I have gone over many items, none of which have sold. So if you want to do a quick rewind and inquire about anything, feel free to do so. Or you can email me later if you watch back over it at mscwalker@att.net and ask me about an item. I keep my items open until Sundays, and then I close them for another sale. Today, I am trying to reduce my inventory because I have so much inventory, and I can't keep going and buying new items and having them not sell. I'm just not rich enough for that, and I'm not big enough for that either. So today I'm trying to give you the lowest possible price I can and still make just a couple dollars on my items and my time and reduce my items. I'm not achieving that goal yet. Not achieving it, but I'm trying. And I'm hoping that I bring you guys stuff that you like. I think that I do. I watch other people's channels. I'm in their chats. And other than the really high-end glass, I think I'm pretty spot on. But anyway, so we're going to pass on this. And we're going to go to the next thing. Next little item is, what is it? Okay. It's this little guy. Game of Sparrows. I didn't know that, Kathy. I used to play a kind of like solitary game of matching mahjong tiles. You know, it was popular like in the 90s or something. But I've never understood how to play mahjong. Apparently, it's very complicated, and I never learned. And now I feel like my brain is too old to learn. But I like that Game of Sparrows. That's really nice. So this item starts at $15. And you know what? I'm sorry. I have to keep him at 15. I'd like to knock him down to less, but I wouldn't be making any money at all. As it is, I'm only making a couple dollars. This is a pewter Dachshund. This is a Doxy. This is a Dachshund. So the other one was a wiener dog, the China figurine. This is a teeny tiny little Dachshund with his long floppy ears and that long tail. He's got little pink eyes, and he's got 2 of them. He is super tiny. He's about 1.5 inches long. There he goes. Hold on. I'll be back from under my desk. He's about 1.5 inches long. He's just adorable. It's got a lot of definition. I would say he is probably, he's got a standard C clasp, safety clasp. I think he's from the 70s, maybe even the late 60s. Let me show you his clasp. Oh, and there you go. So you can see the little mold there. So he's hollow on the back. And there's his little feet. And there's the pin. 15 for the little guy with his cute little ears and his pink eyes. He really reminds me of a Doxy. Sorry, I sniffle a lot. I have really bad allergies at my father's house. It's also the house I grew up in. I don't know why. I don't have these allergies quite this much when I'm at my homestead, but so just bear with me, y'all. I'm not sick. I apologize. Okay. These guys are starting at 13. They are the 1930s cold painted toucan salt and peppers, right? They originally had Niagara Falls on them, but because it's cold paint, you could very carefully take that off if you don't like it. It's just very careful because you want to do one little spot at a time because you don't want to take his brilliant yellow off, right? But you could get it off. Let's see. Here it is. And I personally don't care. I love these things. I think they're funny. I think they make me smile. They make me happy. I think they're just funny looking. I don't know. And the idea of these being at Niagara Falls, because toucans, to my knowledge, are not in Canada, number one. And why would anyone make little bird salt and pepper shakers, little toucans? That's Japan for you, right? So these are 1930s. No chips, no cracks, no cold paint loss. This is yellow where they missed it. This one has its original little stopper. And it has some kind of pencil writing that I don't know what the heck it means, what the heck it's trying to say in any way. I don't know. This one's little stopper is right there inside of him. There it is. So you could either try fussing to get it out or order a new one. And I did say 13. No paint loss, really vibrant. I think he'd be year-round. He can just be in your figurine displays, or they can be a year-round salt and peppers. I don't see any problem with using them at Thanksgiving or at Christmas on the kids' table for really cute little salt and peppers. Just don't wash them with anything but a very lightly moistened cloth extremely carefully because cold paint will come right off. They are new old stock, even though this is worn out. I got it at a store that had about 30 of these and about 40 of another kind. And I mean, they just had a bunch. So they are new old stock. They were sitting in someone's store for a long time, and then they were bought out and passed along. So here they are for your viewing pleasure. Quack, quack. What does a toucan say? I'm a birder, but I got to say, these are tropical birds, so I don't know. This guy's a little bit smaller than this guy, even though their tops are the same. So I'd go with the smaller one is pepper, larger one is salt. Okay. Well, I'm not reaching my goal of clearing out inventory. I'm going to really have to think about what to do. What to do. I don't know. Going through my list. I just went through all my stuff and brought items that weren't moving and marked what I brought for the sale. I have lists and lists. I didn't want to make a whole new list for items that are already listed, so bear with me. I'll get there. There's a couple sales. So all that stuff is at my homestead. It's not down here. I just did the toucans. Okay, let's do my ultra cute bunny that I'm bringing down to rock bottom. Made in occupied Japan. Happy little bunny. He's got his pink ears, purple bow tie, all dressed up and ready to go. Greens, purples, browns, and a few little gold spots. He is glazed, so he is late 30s. Occupied Japan. No, he is late 40s, early 50s. This is the back. He doesn't have much going on in the back. He has a little bit going on the side. Here's his occupied Japan. He's it's a toss-up for me. I think he's just ceramic. I don't think he's bone china. He's $10 for this little kitschy figurine. For people who collect figurines, $10 is a great price. You really can't get a better price than that unless you go out and find it on your own. And he makes me happy too. So here he is. He has a tiny bit, the ears are glazed. He is glazed. The ears are glazed. So they did this. Okay, this is one of those pieces where they did the trick where some of this is glazed, like the bow has been glazed over, the pink ears have been glazed over, but then these and the eyes are cold paint. So there's a tiny bit of cold paint missing in his eye. So they did that thing where they glazed it over, and then I guess to fancy it up, they also added a little bit of cold paint. So occupied Japan, late 1940s, adorable, $10, about 3 inches tall, 2 inches wide. Bunny rabbit. He's ready to party. Okay, I am. Let's see. Well, I'm going to blow my nose. Okay. This, buy it now, 15. Is a, excuse me while I did that, is an incredible $15 bone china retriever lassie. This guy is so detailed. Bone china, no chips, no cracks. You hear that? That's because he's so thin. He's so splendid. It's absolutely, to anyone who loves dogs or loves this breed or loves figurines, this is one for you. His ruff, his coat is so detailed, not only in the actual mold itself, but in the colors. You see him? You see how all that detailing, and then how they went out of their way to get the color definitions lifelike, even down to his paws. They've got the white and then the orange on the legs, the orange and brown in his ruff, and then the cream, his little ears, his eyes. He looks very, very realistic. He's absolutely beautiful. There's his little Japan on his foot. Nice, Kathy. I have a half corgi, half retriever. Well, like a third retriever, a third corgi, and then like a terrier or something. 30-pound dog at the moment. I call him an American. I call him an American. So here's this guy, $15. He's a screaming deal. Like I said, everything I'm bringing you today, I'm only making a couple dollars on each item, making the bare minimum of what I could make and maybe make a profit if I actually sold the majority of my items, which I don't think is going to happen today. But, you know, I'll keep trying. I'll give it a few more tries. And then we'll see. I love doing this. I love spending time with all of you. I really do. But given all my responsibilities in life, I'm just not sure. I can't keep my eBay store open because I'm always down here at my dad's. But I can't store boxes and boxes of items both at my homestead and down here either, and put the money out and not get any in return. So I'm just trying to work out the kinks, y'all. Maybe more collaborations, like the Peddler's Train that's coming up October 29th. It's on my IG. It's hosted by Tammy and David, Vintage Uprising. And there's about 7 of us who start at 2 o'clock with half an hour static drops. I am the caboose, October 29th. Come check it out. Hey, Susan, good afternoon to you. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. So we're going to pass on this fantastic bone china lassie figurine that has no damage for $15. He's about 7 inches long and 3.5 inches tall at his tallest. So, Susan, today, all the items I'm selling are at my rock bottom lowest prices. I'm trying to offload. I'm willing to take offers $1 or $2 less than I've brought. And on some things I can't accept that. On other things I can't. I'm just trying to clear out some inventory. So if you see anything you like, please let me know or email me at mscwalker@att.net. Okay. So the next item is, and they're all buy it nows, unless I get more than one person interested, and then I'll do a 10-second countdown, and whoever wins. Okay, so this is a $10 buy it now. Trinket box in the pastels, so it's probably from mid 80s, possibly 90s, but I don't think that. It could even be 70s, late 70s. Not quite sure. It does not have a maker on the bottom. It is ceramic. It is not porcelain. It is not a hobbyist. It's got the baby blue with the like pink dogwood or poppies and blue kind of violets. The ruffled. It's shiny, but that's due to the glaze. It is hand painted. This is raised. So this is hand painted. Scalloped edges. Hashtag no chips, no cracks. I thought it would be really nice gift for like a young teenage girl, or even under, say 9-10 years old, to start putting in their little jewelry. I thought it would be really sweet. It would also be really sweet to keep in the bathroom with maybe your bobby pins or your hair ties. This is the bottom and the inside. Quite frankly, I'm not sure that this was ever used. Again, it could be new old stock. I'm not sure. And it is, the paint is not worn at all. It is about 4 inches long by 3 inches wide. So maybe about 4.5 by 3 inches wide by 2 inches tall. Maybe 2.5, but I would safely go with 2. See? It is that big. I don't know why we do this, but so I think it's dainty. It's beautiful. It's affordable. And in its own interesting way, even though it's dainty, it's also kind of kitschy. And I don't know why I said that. These are like those ties that you put on curtains or at the end of rugs. That's what those look like to me, with the beading. I don't know. That's very interesting. Okay, $10, y'all. Excellent price. Christmas is coming. I know we're not through with Halloween. But we're there. So these are my most expensive item. $35, buy it now. They are the 1930s, made in Japan spice jars, spice containers. They are purple, orange, yellow, and green with the purple luster and the gold paint. A little bit of the purple luster is worn off on some of them, more so than others. This one was the nutmeg. See, there's the purple luster. Here's the inside. None of these have chips or cracks. Were they used? I don't know. I don't smell anything. The backs are just luster, very, very light purple. Here is the bottom. Oh, I just said made in Japan. I'm sorry. That's wrong. This was made in, I think, Bavaria. I believe it's Bavaria, Czechoslovakia. I really, let's see if I can, nope. It's like a crown and it's just blurred. Let's see if one of the others will, so this is this one's lid. This one has a more heavy luster. It was cloves. The gold paint is gone, but it's very heavily lustered. No, this doesn't help me at all. If any of you recognize that maker's mark, let me know. I don't. I am used to these lusters coming from Japan, but this one is not. Now, hold on. I'm not sure if that's an actual chip or if that was just a manufacturing problem. It's very smooth for a chip. Very smooth, but I can't. You see that? It's almost like a manufacturing defect, but I can't. I'll let you decide. I can't be sure on that one, and I don't want to say the wrong thing and have someone mad at me. So just know that it's there. Kathy. Okay, Kathy. This is your pepper. It has also a little bit more of the purple luster, but less purpley than the other one. And that is very common to how these were made because it's lusterware. It wears off. And they just kind of did this overspray thing. And some had more and some had less. And there again is that mark. There is a mold number, so that might help. I don't know. I can't. And the last one that goes with this set, and they usually came in sets of, I think, 8. And there would be, I have a set on eBay, but they're different makers, but they make up a whole set, small, medium, and large. Not this exact same set, but the same idea. And they generally, I think, came in about 8 altogether. So this is just 4 of them. But these are things that people collect. Ginger, and this one has heavy purple again. See? A heavy purple overspray. I think it's beautiful. You can still use these 100%. You cook. You want your winter display out. You want all this stuff that you would put into your pies and into your hot spice cider. Here you go. Instant Christmas decorating. Okay, 35. Thank you, Kathy. And I'm really just going down my list. I don't have things in a particular order today, so bear with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all being here very much. It means a lot to me. Hopefully one day I'll have 5 times as many people and I'll actually sell things. That would be cool. And in the meantime, I just enjoy hanging out with y'all, the same as I do in chats and other resellers for the last 2.5 years. I really enjoy it. And, whenever I'm holding up an item and I say, I don't know, or isn't that interesting? If you know something about it, or you've had it or you collect it, please talk to me about it, because learning about vintage is my thing. It's my stress relief. It's my stress relief, and it's my first love. So you ever have anything to share with me, like that the only city named city is in Texas, please feel free. Okay, so let's do this one first. This is a lot. Now, I tried to sell it in a lot before, and no one was interested, even though I think it's incredible. So I am going to do $4, your choice. I hate to break up the set because someone collected it over a period of, I think, 10 or 15 years. But there we are. We're going to do it. So $4 choice. It is a lot of things dating from the 1950s through the late 60s, all to do with San Francisco, California. I found them all together. I'm quite sure they were someone's personal collection. So the first one is this hand-painted, heavily Golden Gate Bridge. That's all hand-painted. It is about 2.5 inches around. It has no paint loss. That is indeed how the Golden Gate Bridge looks. I cannot imagine the amount of time it took to hand draw this. That is meant to be the concrete pilings at the bottom of the bridge, although you don't see those. That's under the ocean. So whoever painted this took artistic license. I would pretend they were steamer boats coming in. It is bone china. There is nothing on the back. I do not think it was Japan. I believe that there is Chinatown and Japantown here, just like in so many big cities. But I believe that these were actually items that street vendors, this particular item and one other, street vendors sat and painted this and had little booths on what we call Pier 1 and sold these to tourists. And they probably sold them for about $15 back then, even though it took them this much time. Those little things that you're seeing are just in the ceramic saucer itself. It is not raised paint and it is not damage. So does anyone remember street vendors painting on objects like this and selling it to tourists in a big city they lived in? Because that was a thing in the 50s and 60s. It, like the Big-Eyed Girls, remember that if you've seen that movie or know that history, and the artists were all there, in the park and painting portraits. Well, they also did things like this on the piers. So this is $4, one of your choices, San Francisco. This is a teacup and saucer for $4. This is an incredible deal. California Redwoods. They don't have these at the gift shops anymore. They're all made in China. This is probably from the 1960s. California Redwoods. I think that's the Avenue of the Giants. Hand painted with gold. There's nothing on the back. It may have had a sticker. Probably a local artist here in America. It is raised. 1960s, they come together. The little teacup and the plate. $4. Avenue of the Giants. This is another one of those hand-painted artist pieces. It is signed. It's all hand-painted. It is the Bay. The cup is about 2.5 inches, maybe three inches tall. Those are the Marin Headlands. There's the Golden Gate Bridge with the birds at sunset. There's the sun right there setting. San Francisco with the sailboats coming in on a nice clear day. It's very well done. It does have a little bit of crazing, but it's very light. It's vibrant. It's lovely. Hand painted. The artist's name is raised. The rest of the paint on this one, the paint actually feels glazed over except for her signature. 3 inches. Here's the inside. That's nothing. That's just, I think, where a tag was. Yep. And the last item for $4 choice is this ribbon plate, wall hanging of all the touristy things in San Francisco. This is the style that was very popular in the 1950s. So I'm going to go with 50s to 60s. It is Lesterware. It could be as old as the 30s because, you know, the only thing that makes me, so this is puzzling. This is a puzzler to me because this is, hold on. Nope. I'm going to take it all back. This is 1930s. This is definitely 1930s, that ribbon style Lesterware, because all of those are hand painted. I just checked. It's not transferware. It's raised. That is all literally hand painted. The cable car with the people, the crookedest street, the Golden Gate Bridge, Fisherman's Wharf, the Cliff House, and Chinatown. That is all hand painted. The paint is slightly raised, which then says to me that it is cold paint. So I would be very careful washing it. There is no chips, no cracks. It has, the other reason I say that, it has the plate hanger and it has this label, which is NSCO imports. NSCO imports. But the additional thing it has is actually the impressed Japanese artist signature. When you find something like that, it means it's 1930s or older, turn of the century. They stopped doing this during the war and after. The actual artist's company or name incised or impressed on there. So $4 choice for any of those. The plate, the redwood Avenue of the Giants cup and saucer, the hand-painted street artist Golden Gate Bridge, or the hand-painted glazed and signed by Susan S. Golden Gate Bridge mug, 3 inches tall. $4 each. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and throw this in. And $5. It's a single melt glass ground ginger from Griffith's. Smells like ginger in here. It's just your Art Deco 1930s, 1920s melt glass. This would have come in a set. It's only $5. It's got the celluloid top. It's got a crack. It's got 2. but I think it's a great display piece. You can absolutely store your ginger in again. You can unscrew the top and store whatever you'd like in there. It's got the original pewter sprinkler. Whoop, there you go. It just came out. There's the inside. There is no ring of fire. It smells heavily like ginger. This was used. Someone liked their ginger. $5. Okay. Getting down to my last items, y'all. What's everyone doing? I'm moving fast, and I apologize if that bothers some of y'all, but again, until I'm able to actually earn the amount of money that it takes me, the time to curate, to research, to clean, to bring, to pack, to invoice, to label, to ship, I'm not going to spend a lot of time, and I won't do recaps because it's not, I don't even make minimum wage. So, you know, I move fast. And if someone wants it, I figure they'll let me know. So this starts at $15. I got this from another reseller's channel. I had an original intent for it, but it's not going to work for me. It is drip glaze. It is absolutely stunning. So this is, you know, your 1970s. Drip glaze, cream, brown with some golds mixed in. It is a pitcher. However, it's got 3 holes cut out right here. 1, 2, and 3. So it is an MCM, you know, after the fact, MCM 70s kind of weird revival, weird in between a hippie, bohemian, something mosh podge of stuff. Design. What I figured would be really cool to do with this would be to put dirt and plants coming through. You could put your chicken and eggs coming down. You could put your spider plants. You could insert air plants, although I prefer the dirt idea. And then you water through the top or through the holes, your choice. You could put strawberries coming through. You could fill it with water and have flowers coming out. Kind of like wisteria or something that spills down just a little. Or you could just have it as decorative. It's a prototype. Kathy. Yep, it's a prototype of figuring out how to pour without having the liquid come out. I think it's beautiful. I love drip glaze, and I bought it from another reseller. I had a purpose in mind. That purpose is not going to work for me. And I am selling it what I paid and paid shipping. So I'm not making a profit on this at all. But I want to move it along to someone else. So how big is it? It's about 10 inches tall. And about, yeah, I like hens and chickens. And about, 6 inches around. About 6 inches around. It's got really great, like, I mean, the handle, the shape. I think it's really cool. You know, it is not that Van Briggle, but the shape of this square handle reminds me of that fantastic piece that Sarah brought on Sunday, right? Yeah, Sunday. That was really cool. Nothing like this piece, but just that shape reminds me of that. Okay, So moving on, people. Moving on. So sorry. Almost done. Only a few things. Just have to take all my things. Now, where is the... Okay. Apologies. I have these. I'll put them in, but you know, it'll take someone who has a collection who wants them. These are $3 each, Swanky Swigs. This one is really short and thicker. I've never seen anything like it. And here I have two with these red tulips. The paint is not, it hasn't gone through a dishwasher. It was washed well, but it's not, it hasn't really lost its coloring. This, I don't know. Sour cream, mustard, no idea. And I have one of these, $3. I love this one. And two of these. And we all know these are about 3 inches tall. And this one is about 1.5 inches. And it's like shot glass thick. It's really cool. So $3 each. There is something that I wrote down that I just completely missed. Okay. So this, I brought this to several. I believe this is a modern. This is $15. By modern, I mean 2000s. For all I know, it was actually made in the 80s or 90s, but I don't know the maker. So, Kathy. So I don't know. It's a beautiful mauve and light purple squatty bud vase. Here's the top. It's reminiscent of the drip glaze style. That's why I picked it up. I think it's beautiful. The artist's name is on the bottom, but I can't make heads or tails of that. And if it's someone famous and someone knows, then you're getting a great deal because I don't know anything about it. Hi, Edward. How's it going? It's nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. I'm getting down to my last few items, Edward, and today I was trying to do a clearance. My prices are at such a place that I'm only making a couple dollars an item, but I was trying to clear out stuff so that I can curate new items. So if you scroll back real fast and you see anything, let me know. You can email me later at mscwalker@att.net and inquire about an item. Yeah, I keep my items open till Sundays and then I close them and bring them to another sale. Or I donate them back and take a loss. I don't know. So here's this guy. This is just beautiful. There's not a lot to say. Hashtag no chips, no cracks. Modern or not, drip glaze. It's stupendous. It will match anything. It's it would look beautiful in a little nook on a side table in your bathroom. It's definitely a single bud vase size. Could put a couple English tea roses coming out of the top there. It is about 3.5 inches tall by 3.5 inches squatty around. And it is more, let me turn my ring light off for just a second. Well, that didn't turn it off. So that's not helpful. It is more, there you go. You see where my hand is, and you see how it's that like dark mauve red? That is true to color. That is true to color. That dark with the light lavender. It is not this just purple. It is like an oxblood. See that? That's the color with the purple throughout it. Yeah, Ikebana vase. Exactly, Kathy. I think it's beautiful. And there's just nothing wrong with it. It feels so nice fitting in my hand. It is this tall. And it is that deep oxblood purple with the light lavender drip. $15. Okay, let's see. I'm so glad you popped in, Edward. I appreciate it a lot. Where am I at? I am going to go off of. There you go. That's what I thought. Okay, this is a buy it now for $15. Its spine is gone, but it tells you a lot about the age. You see how they bound several things at once with the string? Yeah, really cool. It is children's stories that never grow old. It is To Harriet from Aunt Libby, Christmas 1914. And like I said, the spine is gone, but this thing. So, The Adventures of a Brownie. So for me, this is sacrilege the way I grew up with books. But this book, I would read through and then I would take it apart and use the font for the words for junk journaling, and I would frame the pictures. So here's a brownie. That's their idea of a brownie. Remember, we talk about brownies before fairies and elf huggers, shelf sitters, all that. They were brownies. They were the original thing. I'm trying to find you some really cool. I love this brownie with the alcohol and the little berries with this shocked expression. It's like, what am I getting into? Here's the Little Lame Prince. I don't actually know that story. The Little Lame Prince? Lame? I do not know that story. Oh my God. Here is Cinderella. One of the illustrations in Cinderella. Here is Peter Rabbit and their mommy. Peter Rabbit does cause a lot of trouble, doesn't he? It's a little scamp. There is the story in here with a lot of plates of Uncle Tom's Cabin. I will show you one, but I'm just letting y'all know because there's a lot of feelings about this out there. Rab and his friends. Don't know. Looks like Jesus to me. I don't know. I don't know that story. Sleeping Beauty. I mean, there's how many stories? Let me stop holding this book up and see if I can tell you how many stories are in here or even how many illustrated plates. I don't know that these books, let's see. Copyright 1908 by the Riley and Britton Company. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 stories. There is 298 pages in here. 298 pages. There is also another controversy, Little Black Sambo in here. So this is Dick Whittington. This is 115 years old. This book is 115 years old. And the inside, the pages and the illustrations have no damage at all. There's a slight old book smell. It's not a terrible, musty basement. It's just an old book smell, which old books have that smell because they're paper, and that's what happens to paper. But the inside has no flocking, no damage to the illustrations. Does it give the illustrator? I don't think it does, Kathy. It's so old. Hold on. Children's stories that never grow old. Hold on. A selection of the best children's classes. I need to go back to school because I can't talk. A selection of the best children's classics adapted by Mary Stone, pictured by John R. Neal, Neill, Chicago, the Riley and Britton Company publishers. So I guess the pictures are by John R. Neal. I've never heard of John R. Neal, but that doesn't mean anything. That was 115 years ago. So have you ever heard of him, Kathy? I know there's a couple people out there that are really desirable and collectible, but they're both women. So I don't know about John R. Neal. He may be very collectible. But again, I think this is something you go through and you take the illustrations out and you frame them and you give them as gifts to young children, to people who do tattoos, to people who appreciate this, or you use them in your junk journaling, or you do all of the above. Oh, the Oz stories. Kathy. Wow. Thank you, Kathy. I love the Oz books, all of the Oz books. If anyone doesn't know, there's more than one. There's a whole series of them, and they're incredible. I read them all. I used to own them all. So there you go. And this was before The Wizard of Oz, I believe, right, Kathy? Is it predating The Wizard of Oz? I think, even though the movie came out in the 40s, I think The Wizard of Oz was a little bit later than 1909. Yeah, 40 stories, Kathy. I think so too. Anyway, so here's this, $15. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. So, a choice of items. Don't know, this got lost on my list, so we're just putting it in here. Choice. $8. Buttons. $8 for your crafting, sewing, putting in a small box pleasure. This is not what I paid for them, but I'm only making a couple bucks. This is 6. This is one choice. These are indented. These are from the 50s or 60s. They are that nice original hard plastic that is about their original color. They're the blue on the back. They are nice and thick. They're indented like that. I think they'd be beautiful on a little boy's sweater or jacket. 1904. Oh, so okay. So the Oz predates this book. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Kathy. You're a good historian. And then these are the other choice at 8, and they are the pearl opalescent yellow buttons, and there's 6 of them, $8. They're absolutely beautiful. Lemon yellow. And they are from the Blumenthal and Company in Carlstadt, New Jersey. They are size 28 3/4. Whatever that means. If you're a crafter, you know. I do not know. They are raised with the little nub at the bottom to put on a little boy or a little girl's sweater or dress. They're absolutely delicious. I love them. Okay. So that's the buttons. I've got just a couple items left, friends, and then we're all done. Ugh, sorry, I'm back over here with my reaching. So we're going to do this Lady and Man postcard. I think this thing is hilarious. $8. Buy it now. I felt really small. I felt rather small. Yeah. This is a postcard. It looks like it says 31, so there must be a series. This is that old English kind of and American, but I'm going with that. This was English, kind of cartoons, if you will. You remember those? You've seen any old magazines, newspapers, and it is a postcard that was never used. And it's not a reproduction. So, I'm going to say that it's from, I'm going to make it up, 1910. It could have been reproduced in the 70s. It's possible. But it doesn't have that look to me. But it does say place stamp here, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. 2 cents. 1 cent for United States, Canada, and Mexico. 2 cents for all other countries. 1 cent. Okay, so that dates it. It's the early 1900s. 1 cent for all countries, United States, Canada, and Mexico. 2 cents anywhere else in the world to mail this postcard. $8. Yeah, Kathy, you're full of beans today, my friend. I really. Does your family really look like that? Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that, Kathy. I don't know how I feel about that at all. Okay. So this right here is $11 right now. Bayer aspirin bottle. 1960s. Into possibly the 1970s. Yep. It's a screw top, and on the back it says Used since 1900 for the relief of painful discomfort of headaches, neuralgias, head colds, muscular aches and pains, and as a gargle for relief of minor throat irritation. So apparently, you would gargle aspirin. Never heard of such a thing. Absolutely not. It does say keep this out of the reach of children. So therefore, I would go with 70s. Screw top, no damage. It's about 2 inches tall. No damage. $11. Great display, great advertising. You don't find these. People throw them out. There's not that many around. Doesn't mean there aren't any, because there certainly are. There certainly are. And I've got this lady. She's an interesting lady. She was made by someone, or painted the mold. Noson. I can't read that. But at any rate, she is really interesting. This is like textured, raised paint. And then she's got her tight corset and her low-cut dress, her peasant blouse, with her little, carrying her bowl to get her wares to the market, whatever. But then she has blonde hair, so I guess she's supposed to be a Swedish or Norwegian market girl. Not really sure. She starts at 15. She is about, good grief, her dress is about 7 inches long at the very bottom. This is about 7 inches. And then she's about 12 inches tall. She's very thin. And see there, I did that thing where, in me being my own moderator, I made it say something crazy. 15. This is her back. She's very thin. I would say she's from, she's probably from the 60s. I mean, the 70s. But she could be earlier. She's got those, the big lashes that people always do. They're different on the eyes, but she's not a big eye. I've never seen this kind of textured paint. And I know that she was done by this one name, whatever that name is. But, in the 60s and 70s, and it went through until about the 90s. I don't think they do it anymore. People would buy these molds and paint them at home and then sell them to local businesses in their city and or street vendors and parties. And I had a friend who did, their father, when I was in elementary school, did nothing but clowns. He had all these molds of different clowns. And he made a living going to fairs and selling the clowns. So it was a thing, and it was a successful thing, and it was extra income for the housewives, the whole thing. People still do the molds. Thank you, Kathy. So I think she's really pretty. I think she'd fit nicely tucked in with your glassware, with all your kitsch, I picked them up because I like them. And her pan has never been used. This is, she's not dirty. She's never been used. Again, I feel like she was some new old stock. What I immediately thought of was I thought of either putting a votive light up here so that at the top the light would be shining up onto the ceiling, or you could try burning incense in the top, cone incense, or little potpourri up there. She could be your bathroom potpourri girl. Grapes hanging out, Kathy. How about the crafting fruit I brought in the beginning? I was talking about all the different things you could do with the Christmas crafting fruit. Well, there you go. You want some fruit hanging out? Buy her and the crafting fruit. There's bananas in there even. Perfect, right? Okay. Well, I do have, one more item, and I'll show you all. But this is not at a reduced price, and it would have to be your niche. And I cannot promise you what I'm saying is right, but I'd like you to check it out for yourself. So just to show you, this starts at $50. This is a ceramic pour for a metal caster. This artist that I believe she's from worked in bronze. So it's very typical that you have your metal mold and you do a big pour of ceramic first to see how it's going to come out. And then this is either broken or it stays in the artist's studio. There is a person, this is a girl with cat. She has a schoolgirl collar on her little schoolgirl dress. She has a textured skirt, a leather belt. Her braids are thick and perfect. Her collar is raised back here. Her foot is cocked out at the back. Her hands are holding, one is on her lap, one is holding the cat. Her face is a little crude, but it would have been a little crude, but a little bit better in the metal. Her eyes are dug out. Now, there is an artist named Charles something Parks. And if you look him up, you will find this exact little girl in bronze, but her hand is right here. And she's on a little pedestal. And there's a boy with dog. She is exactly the same. Well, Kathy, you could think that, but that's where I'm going to leave it up to the buyer to decide, because a pouring is cruder. So, but it's okay. She's extremely heavy, and Charles Parks did hundreds and hundreds of bronze statues in cities as memorials across the United States and for the federal mint and for other resellers. And so this is just what I feel. And it could have been a copy by another artist because the hand is up here instead of down there. But, I only did a dive on this for about 20 minutes and then I left it alone. It weighs about 4 pounds, maybe 5. It's quite hefty. Here is the hole. And if you could actually see in there, you would feel the ceramic, and actually it hurts my finger up there, and it almost feels like there's some metal. So there she is. She's fantastic. Starts at 50. So if you want to do your research and get back to me, you can. So, my friends, I managed to get through my 8th live sale with not a single sale. I've said this before, and I do mean it. I have an account on Instagram. I would like feedback. I am not at the level of Sarah, Michael Todd, Misty. I could name a lot of names. I'm not at that level. I don't have that kind of money to outlay. But I do know my vintage, and I do know what's hot and what's not. But and I do know the economy is bad. The economy is, it's tough. It's really tough right now. And so I've been factoring that in with pricing before I had this reduced pricing sale. But I know, I can't expect to be a success overnight, but 2 months in and, I'm selling one item or I'm selling no items. And I've put in the time and I've put out the money and I store things and I move them around and I don't know. I'm feeling like somewhere I'm missing the mark. Somewhere I'm just missing the mark and what I am or am not bringing to you all. Do I need to do more bundles? Do I need to do more choice? I'm doing the peddlers train. So I'm going to close with this. So if you want to give me feedback in a message on IG, please do. I really encourage that. I will not be mad at you. I will not unfriend you. Nothing. So October 29th with Vintage Uprising, and because it's cool, Vintage Conversation, the Traveling Crafter, what is it? The Vintage Peep Show, a Go-Go, I think, and Vintage Vinny, and someone else. Good Lord, and me. I'm the caboose. We're doing a peddler's train. I'm the caboose. It's October 29th, Sunday, and it's static drop sales. So we each have a half an hour, and you make your claim in the comments. Please come check us all out. That link is also on IG. It starts with Tammy and David. Well, actually, Tammy, because David's doing his own thing because it's cool. So it starts with Tammy at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. November 11th, I'm doing a collab with Kathy at Picasso Cat. Last week, I did a collab with Angie at Angie's Oddities and Denise of Denise's Magical Emporium. So, I am doing those things too, but I'm not selling. So, any advice, any feedback, I welcome it. Anyone who's watching this after it's done, my email is mscwalker@att.net. You can write me and let me know that you want to purchase something. And in the meantime, have a fabulous day. I'll see you all in a few hours at someone else's sale. And thank you for coming in, supporting me, and giving me a thumbs up. Take care.